Now the stakes are clear. Go win 4 games in 4 days in the AAC tournament, or else you do not get to play in the NCAA tournament. CJ, I think this is something everybody now agrees on, right? Anything short of the AAC's auto bid, it's not going to be good enough anymore. That's where we're at, right?
No. Yeah, no, and they've earned this.
Yes.
Right? Like
yes.
This is, like you said, this has been the defensive side of the ball specifically has been a problem in conference play for them all season long. It wasn't just that game where they looked completely disinterested on the defensive side of the ball. It wasn't just that game where they looked unattached on the defensive side of the ball. There's been a slew of games like that for the Memphis Tigers. Unfortunately, it wiped away all the goodwill that they built up in out-of-conference slate this season.
When you get 16 makes on 50% three-point shooting, you should win that game.
Yeah.
And the fact that they really were not even in it. I mean, they were always hanging around, but it felt like they were always down like 8-12.
Right.
And they'd make a push, and then it's just a wide open three. And they'd make a push, and it's a wide open three. And they'd make a push, and it's a – there was one where it was like a loose ball situation, and needless to say, Florida Atlantic ends up with it. And then it's just like a dunk at the – and Javon Quinterly's just standing there, and he doesn't even like try to get in the way. It was just like – it's been a problem for much of the conference season. It was a problem on Saturday. You're exactly right. This isn't anything new. There ain't nothing I saw Saturday that made me go, man, I can't believe they're doing this, because I've seen them do it over and over again. You can't do it against a quality team in a hostile environment, and they tried it against a quality team in a hostile environment. It did not go well. I know somebody might be saying, hey, listen, but I looked at Joe Lunardi's bracket, and he still has Memphis on the bubble. And it's true, he does still have Memphis on the bubble. But Memphis can't do much to improve its resume short of winning 4 more games. Meantime, the bubble is going to shrink over the next week because of bid stealers, and some power conference team or 3 is going to go on a run, get big wins, and pass the Tigers in the pecking order. So just know this, regardless of what you see with anybody's last 4 in, first 4 out, next 4 out, the Atlark conversation from Memphis is over. It's now auto bid or bust. So what does the AAC path look like? Let's talk through that for a second. The Tigers are the number 5 seed, which I mentioned this on you guys' show this morning. That means they just finished 5th in the 10th best basketball conference in the country. By the way, Ryan Silverfield just finished 4th in like the 7th best football conference in the country. And Memphis fans were miserable all year long, and some of them wanted to fire him after finishing 4th in the 7th best football league in the country. Penny Hardaway just finished 5th in like the 10th best basketball league in the country. And I want to be clear, no serious person is really saying it's time to make a coaching change, which is why the Instagram post from Penny this weekend were probably missteps, but we'll talk about those in a minute. First, AAC tournament. The Tigers, again, 5 seed. Game 1's going to be Thursday. They're going to play either Wichita State or Rice. Wichita State's 159 at Ken Palm. Rice is 225. I know this season has been a major disappointment, but Memphis hasn't lost this season to a team as bad as either of those teams, except for the one stupid game against Rice back in January. So on Thursday, Memphis is either going to play a Wichita State team it's already beaten twice, or a Rice team that it owes a good ass whipping.
Right.
Should be fine. So let's go to Friday. If the Tigers get to Friday, they're going to play UAB. They went 1-1 against UAB this season. They will be favored against UAB in that game if they get to that game. So they should win it. They get to Saturday, they'll likely play USF, and they would be favored over USF, even though USF is the 1 seed in this tournament. Mm-hmm. And no matter who they'd play, on Saturday, even if it's not USF, they'll be favored in that game. So if you're following me here, if the Tigers do nothing more than what they'll be expected to do in every game they play going forward, like at tip-off. Hey, you're in a game. Are you supposed to win it or lose it based on betting markets, computer projections, everything? They will be expected to win their game all the way up until the championship game. If they do nothing more than win the games that are in front of them that they are supposed to win. I'm not asking them to go upset Houston or UConn. I'm just saying if they just win the games they'll be favored to win going forward over the next week, they will play in the AAC tournament title game. They should. And if they get to that, yes, they'll likely be an underdog against either FAU or SMU, but they can beat FAU or SMU. In fact, they've already done both of those things this season. So I'm not ready to call this season over, even if it's disappointing that we find ourselves in this situation again. But unless they win 4 games in 4 days, the season as we care about it will, for all intents and purposes, be over. They might go play in another tournament somewhere, but unless they win 4 games in 4 days, Memphis will miss the NCAA tournament, and that will leave Penny Hardaway with 2 NCAA tournament appearances through his first 6 years as the head coach at his alma mater.